I read the book last summer, not knowing anything about the TV version, and loved the book and sort of gave it to friends and thought it was just fantastic. And I love his writing. I've always been a fan. And so I was thrilled when they rang. I couldn't believe it. Life is good luck and bad luck. You can have a talent for making the most of the good luck that falls in your way, but ultimately it's out of your hands, which I think is quite, I don't know, I think it's quite profound. I think it's quite true. And therein lies the comfort and security in the fact that you don't have any control over your life. We're all just on a wave, you know. Sometimes we fall off and sometimes we're carried along.
Come along. David!
Everyone's great. It's a really lovely cast. It's an amazing cast. And I did it feels a little bit like, I did a Dickens adaptation. I played a guy called Arthur Clenham, and it was similar in the sense that I'm there all the time, sort of as the audience's eyes and ears. And these brilliant actors come in and for a few days and are brilliant and leave, and I'm still there going. So yeah, there's a correlation between Arthur and Logan. The makeup and costume have done an amazing job. This is my young look and my old look. I love my old look. It's sort of grey in the hair and yeah, it's prosthetic. Not prosthetic, but sort of stipple, which makes me look a bit crinkly.
For part of the start of this film, you're actually in the West End doing Private Lives with Kim.
I was, yeah, I know. And then I was doing a bed scene with her in a red wig. And I think it's a really wonderful piece of writing. Apart from anything else, it's a cracking story, so I hope it's moving and entertaining and illuminating. And when I read the book, I found it tremendously comforting because it's about the human condition and about the last century. You know, Logan goes through every decade of the last century. He was born in 1909 or something and dies in the 90s. And so you see a whole, you know, it's wonderful.
What I like about the script is it suggests that so much of our lives are beyond our control, and to accept that is to accept the power that the people who come into our lives have over us, whether we want them to or not, and that does shape and form us as we grow. And there's a real beauty in that, and there's a fragility in that, and I think Logan represents someone he kind of is this man that sits on the fence a lot, and things seem to happen to him, and he's kind of finds himself at the right place at the right time, or the wrong place at the wrong time, and he kind of lets his life happen to him, as opposed to trying too much to steer his course, and I think there's something lovely about that, truly just accepting what's given to you in life and making the best of it, and allowing yourself to go through the emotions of loss and the highs and lows.
Have you spoken to Matthew and Jim about how to portray Logan?
I haven't had the opportunity, no. Unfortunately, we're never really on set together. Jim sort of had the first 3 weeks all to himself, then I got the middle 3 weeks, and Matthew has the last 3 weeks. However, I did manage to watch a bit of footage of the two doing their stuff earlier on, and I've sort of tried to portray that in my performance as well. And in fact, Matthew Macfadyen on my first job mentioned the book to me, and because he was reading it before he knew the project was going ahead. It's a great story. It's so ordinary a life, really. I mean, I know he has his he meets famous people and famous faces and has this quite extraordinary life, but at the same time, there's so many things that people can relate to that it's quite beautifully written.
And you've got Matthew's chin.
I have, and his eyes. I am Matthew. It's this tiny little prosthetic that they stick on. It takes about 2 minutes.
I didn't even notice it. It seems so natural, but yeah, he calls it his bum chin.
Yeah, it's the bum chin.
I've almost got one actually feeling there. I could have lent him mine.
What's your name, interesting young man?
Logan Mount Stewart.
Land Fothergill.
I've had a couple of opportunities to play Wallace Simpson before and said no, and I thought, what the heck? I do remember you. I love William Boyd's writing. The script was wonderful. Everybody that was coming to it were people that I admired, and it just looked like it was going to be something great.
I wanted to do this so that I could work with you, Gillian. And it seemed a very nice opportunity.
We do know each other. And we're the same height, so it just seemed natural.
In this story, the appearances of all these famous historical characters are so brief that inevitably they have to be quite sort of sound-bitey. I dare say, you know, in reality it was probably more complicated than that, and it must have been a two-way street, their relationship, but certainly she's the more dominating and he's the more submissive.
I want that man thrown out of here.
It was lovely filming it. It was like filming several different linked short stories. It was had a very different feel to anything else I've done. And it's a great story, so I wanted to be part of it. Every human being is a collection of selves. We never stay just one person as we go on our journey through life. He's lived a very varied and eclectic life in different countries and travelled and had an awful lot of experiences and met wonderful people. And then, towards the end of his life, he realises that all the time he's been keeping his diaries of this great life, he has actually been working on his masterwork, the book he was meant to write. The linking theme are the different women in his life, the marriages, the affairs, and the friendships as well. Each woman presenting a different ambience, a different side of his character is revealed. And he's a complex man, which makes the project even more interesting, the complexity of him.